Hey team, how's it going? Eddie Gray here, that Logic Pro guy. This is a conversation that I had with Tom Salta, the creator of Auto Bounce. If you've been looking for a solution for exporting stems, for bouncing, this is a real one. Go ahead and check out this video, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Check this out. So now all we got to do is I'm going to open Auto Bounce. I hit scan.
And as I understand it, this is kind of learning what's in your session, right?
That's correct. It's looking at everything in your session, the track list, the folder stacks, the names, the status, the bar ranges, the bounce settings, the aux channel names, and the master out insert effects.
Yeah, and you can't run other programs like alongside it. The only am I clear on that? Only two programs can be open: Logic Pro and Auto Bounce, right?
You can have other projects open. You just can't use your computer because this, this is taking control of your computer. So if I were to be, on a browser while this is working and it wanted to bring Logic to the forefront and it didn't see Logic because I'm busy doing something else, it's going to mess it up. So this is the kind of thing where once you're done, you hit it, you walk away, you leave your computer. And that's the point. Because part of my passion and my mission in creating this is to give people their lives back. All right. I'm actually donating a portion of the sales of Auto Bounce to Music Cares for mental health initiatives. Because us composers spend way too much time in a room by ourselves. And the last thing we should be doing after we're done creating is spending another 2 hours every day sitting there waiting for a freaking computer to run our bounces. Okay? This is the quality of life product. I mean, how much is your time worth? How much is your hourly rate? How many hours you think could be saved if you can just walk away and not have to run your stems in anymore? Okay, that's the magic of Auto Bounce. So here you go. We just opened it up. Now, as you can see, this is literally mirroring my folder track list there. Actually has the hidden tracks hidden. If I want to see the hidden tracks, I can actually do this.
Wow, cool.
I can bypass them. I can actually show you tracks that are on and off. I don't have any that are off, but if I wanted to, I can click that and that'll do that too. So are you ready for this? This is how simple it is. If I wanted to do the simplest thing possible is just say, you know what? I'm just going to say Eddie stems. Boom. I'm going to say select all and I'm ready to go. Now, what this is going to do here, what you just saw, is it's actually going to run not just stems. It's going to actually run as a separate tracks, like full multi-track. Actually, we don't want that. Who does that for client delivery? I just want to run the stems. So I already grouped the stems I want to run in folder stacks. That's the way I've always done it. So normally I would just have to go one at a time. But here are my stems, and I'm really organized with my naming. So right now, if I were to do this and hit Eddie Stems, and make sure that all the bounce settings are correct, I can go to the naming convention editor, and I can customize this. So how do you like to name your stems, Eddie? Is it just the track name, or is there other information in it?
So it would go whatever the name of song is.
Okay, so I'll just call Eddie Song.
Yeah. And then the version of the song, so let's, whatever that is, full, no drums, narrative.
These are stems first. Then I'll do a mix.
Oh, we're doing individual stems?
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, just basically the name. That's all
Eddie
I really
song,
need.
track, and then the track or the stem.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. With an underscore in between or dash or space, you choose.
Yeah, perfect.
We can even do sequence number if we wanted. Next week, you're going to be able to put the bar numbers. You could put the time signature, the SMPTE time. You could put the BPM. You could put the sample rate. You could put the date automatically, all of that, or anything else you want. So here you go. Here's a preview of a stem. Eddie Song, drums. All right.
This is probably super useful for your video game work, I would imagine, right?
No, it's a dream come true. This is what I need for years. This is what I needed. Now I can do this right now, or we can add some other things. So let's do a mix. Okay, so I'm going to do a mix of the same section.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to make a new job. I can just copy this one. What do you want to call it?
Master, final.
Okay, so Eddie, master, final. All right, now I'm going to put this thing to mix mode. So mix mode will take
Got it.
everything that's checked and combine it into a single mix. Now, Eddie, there are also some other options. You're going to tell me what you want. So, what do you want? Do you want, right now you can see all the stems. This is my music, obviously, but tell me what you want. You
Sure.
want everything, or
Let's
do you want
can we let's do only drums and bass.
only drums and bass? So here we
Yeah.
go. I'm going to turn everything off, and I'm just going to go drums and bass. So now I'm
Gotcha.
going to call this Eddie drum and bass.
Okay.
All right, let's do another mix. Let's say guitar and vocal. Just
Okay.
just because this
Sure,
is
sure.
all right. Now, do you want them wet or dry? Mastered, unmastered?
Yeah, let's do well, we can do both, right? So
Yes, we can.
let's do it.
I'm going to do that one, and now I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm just going to call it, okay, guitar, vocal, dry.
I'm kind of in disbelief, man.
I know.
Just looking at
I know.
this.
I know. I still can't get over how miraculous this program is. Okay.
Wow.
So Eddie vocals dry. How do I make it dry? Well, I'm going to say allow aux muting.
Okay.
And now I know my reverbs because I labeled them. So here are my reverbs. Turning them off. Turning them off. Boom, boom, boom. So that's it.
So you have to hit allow aux muting. What does that do exactly?
Allow aux muting allows you to mute your aux channels.
Okay, and then why are you also disabling the plugins? I'm just curious.
Oh, I'm sorry. So what this means in this case, if you look at this header, I know it's really tiny on your screen, but it's
No, I can see it.
channel. So check means on, and unchecked means muted. So what it's going to do is so for a dry mix, it's going to mute all the reverbs in your aux channels. You see down this
Got it.
stuff, like it's going to mute them.
Got it.
You understand? So that's how I run dry material.
Okay.
Okay. Now, something similar, if we wanted to say run a mix, let's say we wanted a full mix, but I wanted it unmastered. So I'm just going to go Eddie full unmaster. Now, I'm going to turn all the effects back on, but I'm now going to turn on allow master output effect bypass. Now it's showing me my plugins.
Crazy.
So I have these three on. But you know what? I want to leave this guy, but I want to turn that off and that off. Or you tell me what to leave on, or nothing.
Let's leave the Studer on just because I love that plugin.
Cool. All right. So now, here we go.
Wow.
So now we're doing a set of stems. This is all stems, but to make it real quick while we're talking to you, I'm just going to run vibes, vocals, and bass and keys. All right. So that'll be a little quicker. Now, check this out. We spent a little time doing some planning here, wouldn't you say? Wouldn't that suck if something crashed? Well, here we go. Save job set. Check this out. So Eddie AB jobs. Boom. So here we go, Eddie. Here are your jobs. Are we ready to go?
Let's go.
We're going to run one set of stems. We're going to run these mixes. And the names of the mixes are going to default to the job name, but I can also customize those as well. Or if I wanted to, I can add dynamic naming conventions or whatever. I can change the sample rates. Anything you can do in Logic, you can do here. If I wanted to run this real time and this offline, I could do that. Because let's say a lot of people have, outboard gear.
Right.
Does this work with outboard gear? Yes, it does. Because everything goes through the master output fader.
Tell me about master output level 0 dB.
So check this out. So I'm glad you asked that. I should have mentioned this. So, for example, if you're running your unmastered mix and you had a limiter, sometimes what's going to happen? Your stuff is going to clip, right?
Right.
It's going to clip. So what I would suggest doing is this. Let's say right here. You wanted to, in your unmastered mix, you wanted to turn off ozone and this. So I'm going to do that here temporarily. I'm going to test it out. And I want to see the level. And I want to make sure it doesn't clip. It's not clipping. But if it did, what I would do is say, for this particular job, I'd say master output level. And then let's say if it clipped by 3.5 dB, I would just do -4.
Wow. But it's not a limiter. You're just adjusting the overall
it's
volume.
not a limiter. It's moving the volume of the fader.
Incredible.
Isn't that crazy? So
Wow.
I'm just going to do that for fun. I'm going to leave that on.
I mean, you guys really did think of every scenario.
Well, yeah, because I do this every day. I'm like, what do
Incredible.
I need? Because if
Yeah,
it works for me, it's going to work for everybody. Because there's no one that has a more complex need for running stems, tracks, mixes than.
yeah.
So here we go. Hands off.
So while this is running, what do you find yourself doing on your breaks? Like, what's your go-to?
This allows me to make sure that I can get so much more done and multitask. So I can be done. I can go and have dinner on time. I can go out. I spend more time with my friends. I spend more time outside. I spend more time exercising. I spend more time meditating. I spend more time
Mm.
doing like other things, like creating, other side creative projects, having phone calls, catching up with friends. I mean, you know what? I got my life back. And that actually has been a common response
Mm.
from people who got auto bounce and get it. They're like, "Thank you for giving me my life back."
How long's the product been out?
I have only really announced its availability since January,
Wow, okay.
and I didn't even do a press release. In fact, we only did an announcement 1 week ago and 2 days ago. So
Oh, this is exciting.
this is brand new. Don't know about it. And I'm finding that like when I see people downloading it to try it out for free, fully functional for 2 weeks, I'm seeing people literally around the globe. Word of mouth. Like, today it was like New Zealand or like, wow, well, New Zealand, Australia, Japan,
Oh, it's gonna be mega,
hey,
dude.
Argentina, like this
Yeah.
is a dream come true for Logic users. This is my dream and the dream of many others. By the way, if you see what's going on here, the stems are done. Your bass and drum mix is done. Some
Oh,
people say, is this faster than? Is it doing it faster than I could do it?
yeah.
Yes. Even though that's not even the point. The point is for you not to watch this, even though some people say I can't stop watching it because it's like magic. It's like so distressing. So just watch it do it.
Yeah, and Tom, just really quick for newbies on the channel, not everybody understands like the rigor, the reality of bouncing. Can you just give us a quick like window into what is it like for you? How long does it take? Is it a day of bouncing stems? Is it 2, 3 days? If you don't
Right.
mind just giving us a snapshot. Thanks.
Great question. So, in fact, I could even show this to you. I remember even on this project for Deathloop. Okay, I had one Logic project which had multiple. It had 6 areas in it, 6 different cycle ranges that had 6 different cues because they were variations of the same thing. So one was the main theme, and then I had 6 menu themes for you video gamers out there. And so a typical thing for me is to run a mix of all those sections and then to run stems of all those sections. It would take me 2.5 hours nonstop. It's done, by the way. Okay. We'll get back to that. So let me just show you what happened. So now, literally, here you go. It opens it in the Finder. So first thing we did was your stems. So now we have the vocals. Hear the keys,
Tom,
bass.
Tom, let me interject. I don't understand how come we're not getting any clipping, any clicking. What are you guys doing underneath the hood?
Clicking or clipping, all of the bounces happens in Logic. It's not happening in Auto Bounce. Auto
Okay.
Bounce is just dare I say, a glorified remote control or literally an assistant that will sit there and just go through the mechanics of selecting your tracks, choosing bounce,
Got
naming
it.
the file locations, naming the files, choosing the bounce parameters, and hitting bounce. The reason there's no clipping is because I made sure there's no clipping in my
Okay.
mix. This is not going to make your mixes better. This is simply going to allow you to export your stuff without you being there and do it perfectly, naming it perfectly, and be able to recall everything exactly the way if you had to rerun it. So, if you mix yourself you mix your stuff correctly, if you prepare it, if you name it, then you're literally ready to go.
Well, just really quickly, you're not just saving people time and, like you said, mental health, mental wellness, but
That's right.
also money, right? Because you would have to hire an assistant to do all this stuff.
Well, absolutely. The thing is this: how much is your time worth? But think about what your hourly rate is, and think about what your day rate is. Think about then how many hours you could possibly save by using auto bounce. I know people that are like, dude, this will pay for itself in 1 day.
Oh yeah,
Because
easily.
I'm paying my assistant $30 an hour after
Yeah,
I'm done with all my cues to run that stuff off in 1 day. And it's currently not a subscription. A lot of
that's a
people are saying, not customers, but the business people are saying, you know what, you should make that a subscription because that's the only way to make money and have a sustainable thing. Here's my thing: I'm about the users, I'm about getting this into as many people's hands as possible.
yeah.
This should already be built into Logic, quite frankly.
Mm.
With all due respect to Apple, I love Logic, but this should be part of the program, quite frankly. So I just want to put it in people's hands, and I hate renting software. That is the reason that I have it as a single one-time purchase.
Yeah.
And I mean, it pays for itself almost instantly, depending on how much time you spend.
I have some contacts over at Apple. I can't wait to show them when we're off the call here. But go ahead and show me the rest here.
Yeah, absolutely. So you remember I checked guitar and vocal, but as you could see here, user error, I chose drums and bass.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
it's not going to say, all right, wait, you didn't type it right.
Right.
So guitar and vocal is going to be drum and bass.
That in and of itself is like fact checking yourself. I mean, it's right there, so it's
Oh, yeah.
working. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Here's your unmastered mix. See how much softer it is?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's perfect. All right.
Oh man, I wish I would have known about this product a long time ago.
Well, I wish it existed a long time ago.
Yeah.
Here's another thing, Eddie, and you can see that I am really passionate and excited about this. But imagine this, and I just in fact, right before our call, I'm in the middle of making a video about this that I'm going to post on YouTube. The one regret I have, well, one of the few regrets that I have in my professional career, is that I did not take the time to go back to projects in Logic and stem or really multi-track them out, okay? Because now, if I want to open something that's 10 years old, I did it on a different operating system, plugins no longer work, sample libraries come and go, effects don't work, this isn't compatible, they're gone. Okay, I'm embarrassed to admit that I cannot recall my Atlas Plug solo album from 2003. That's heartbreaking to me. All I'm left with is the things that I took the time to run. And in that case, it was just the mixes. What an idiot I am. But you know what? Us musicians, look, we're getting paid, right? We get paid. So it's like, what do you get paid? You need to deliver stems and mixes. Done. Are you really going to take 2 more or 3 more or 4 more hours to sit there and run every single track? So now with Auto Bounce, literally, before I leave for the day, I open up a project. I'm going through all my old Logic projects now. I open up a project,
Right.
I select all the tracks, and I hit bounce, and I walk away. I have full archives I can come back and recall with all the effects, all the plugins, all the routing. It's a dream come true.
I can't believe that you have the job type and then stems or mix feature. That is bananas.
It is bananas. Anything else you want to try, I can show you. I mean, it's truly a miracle.
I was just wondering if you had any personal hacks, things that like new users wouldn't think about necessarily.
Yeah. The biggest hack that I would say, which is a huge time saver, I might have briefly mentioned it, is that the more preparation you do in Logic before you open Auto Bounce, the easier and quicker it is to use.
Okay.
So, for example, what you're looking at here is, again, the full multi-track of the theme, right?
Right.
Now, I can collapse all the things here. So if I wanted to just run stems of this, I would just select the full theme like that. And I would make sure that the Folder stacks are named as I want the stems to be named.
Okay.
Okay. Which they are, right? I would make sure that basically logic looks as clean as it can so that I could just tell like an assistant or my son to come and just go down the list and look at the name and type it in and go. Now, I would look for empty tracks, let's say like reverses. There are no reverses in the theme. So if I were to scan it right now, reverses would show up in the list. I could just uncheck them or not, or just leave them. But if I ran a stem of reverses, it would be blank. So if I want to avoid that and not even have to think about it, I would just either turn it off or hide it. Either way, it's going to be filtered out in Auto Bounce's default view. So I can literally open it up, scan, select all, bounce. That's a power user trick. Here's another power user trick. Even though it's not necessary, I think it's always good to do a save as. Before I run my stems, manually and now with Auto Bounce, I always like having a copy of the project that is what I call the pre-stem or now the pre-Auto Bounce version. And what that enables me to do is just do a little cleanup. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if I ever wanted to go back to my unused tracks and, because I had some stuff in there I wanted to keep but not get rid of, I would at least be able to have a nice, clean, ready to present, ready to run version of the track. So right now, this is what I want to do, and I'm just going to hit scan. All right. You do it. You got to do your hands off, man, okay? Cuz Auto Bounce doesn't want you futzing. It's taking over your computer.
For sessions deep in the, hundreds of tracks,
Yep.
how long should one expect? I mean, I know it differs in every case scenario, but if you give me a general number for a gig, like how long do you step away for? An hour?
Well, it's great. So, here, you mean for the initial scan?
No, no, no. For like when it's time to actually render and you're gonna, do a whole dry, wet, stems, no multi tracks.
Yeah.
How long should I expect, more or less?
Oh yeah. Well, I hate to say it depends, but I'll just give you examples. So for me, if I like the most extreme one that I've ever done with Auto Bounce took it an hour and 45 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. And that was the death loop with all the menu music, all the mixes, and a full stem sets of every one of them.
Yeah. What was the track count on that?
Well, the tracks on that, I think I had over 80 tracks. Now, the number of stems was probably what, 15, 10, 15-ish, 13, something.
Okay.
Okay. Now that ran an hour and 45 minutes. It would have taken me at least 2.5 hours to run it because I can't go as fast as Auto Bounce typing and making
Yeah.
But some stuff, it'll take 5 minutes. It's how quick is your computer? How quick does it take to do one bounce, and then multiply that times the number of bounces. We are putting in a notification feature very soon, so you will be notified when it is done. But right now we have a handy dandy sound, which you can test right here. And you can set your speaker volumes how you want. So anyway, so remember we just did this scan? So I'm just going to call it right here, boom, Tom, and my naming convention is that's all I want. I don't need to customize it, and I hit bounce, and it's done. That's how quick it is. That's why I like doing my prep up front. If I didn't do my prep up front, I might have something a little bit more like, maybe like that. And that's fine. I could still collapse or expand the way I want and then just choose what I want. No problem. But, if you're a speed demon like me, you want to just kind of, make it as quick and easy as possible and always save your project. Auto Bounce will not let you quit without saving unless you say don't save. And that's how easy it is.
I can't wait to hear all the user feedback, man.
I mean, really, this is just about getting the word out because people don't actually believe this works.
Right.
I've heard it say, "Oh yeah, there's another thing. It's like a macro, right? You can just do shortcuts." No, this is not a macro. This is not some auto, macro where you just pick a project and run whatever's in the project. This literally is like a AI assistant that has a two-way communication with logic, and you get your life back, and you're supporting a good cause as well.
Sure. So 14-day free trial and the website autobounce.com or auto dash
That's
or
right. We have a
okay.
little dash in the name.
Okay.
Auto-bounce.com. If you, yeah, try it out. There's a great community. We have a brand new community section right on the website. So you hit community. Um, you'll be notified of updates. You can ask questions. You can make feature requests. We have a very small, dedicated, and passionate team that, I mean, this is what we love. This is it. And I love to hear success stories. I love it when I hear back from friends and colleagues saying, I cannot. My only regret is that this didn't exist sooner. Thank you for giving me my life back. It's a dream come true. Best workflow improvement I've ever done in my life. Hard to believe this exists. So, I mean, I don't want to hype it up too much, but I mean, I can't help it.
Well, great job. I'm gonna blast this out myself. And any closing thoughts here?
You know what? Please, if you have any thoughts, whether they're praises or criticisms, requests, we want to hear from you. That this is for you guys. So please let us know what you think. I do want to hear good and bad, and I want to hear your success stories. I want to hear how it's made your life better,
Mm.
and that's really what this is about.
Well, thank you, Tom. Many blessings to you. Check out Autobonds today. Thank you.